Welcome back, everyone. Today we're diving into the idea of emotional intelligence in relationships. The skills that help you and your partner understand and navigate your emotions, right?
Absolutely. It's all about being attuned to not just your own feelings, but also your partner's. Yep, that's the core of it.
Exactly. It's like you're not just keeping your cool, you're actually checking in with yourself and really listening when your partner shares how they're feeling. It goes far beyond basic
Indeed.
communication.
Right. It's the subtle art of recognizing emotions as they arise, like taking that breath before responding, kind of like a mini timeout in your head, isn't it?
Yep, it's that pause where you ask yourself, what am I feeling right now? It's such an important step because it prevents knee-jerk reactions and helps you respond more thoughtfully.
Yeah, that's crucial. And when both of you work on this together, it can really transform the relationship. No more getting stuck in those annoying, repetitive arguments.
Totally agreed. When emotional intelligence is fostered between partners, communication improves, trust deepens, and even during conflict, you're more likely to find a resolution rather than resorting to blame.
Exactly. Speaking of conflict, did you notice how emotional intelligence can turn disagreements from battles into more manageable discussions? It's like instead of feeling attacked, you feel understood.
Right, it's almost like having a built-in conflict coach. You see, when couples take a moment to validate each other's feelings, like saying, that sounds really hard, I get it. It opens up a pathway for genuine connection.
Yep, that small validation can be a game changer. But what happens if someone's not into, well, practicing this kind of patience? I mean, isn't it sometimes too much to ask for some sustained self-awareness?
That's a good point. Not everyone naturally has high emotional intelligence, and that's totally normal. The key is recognizing it's a skill, one that can be developed over time with, regular effort and practice.
Absolutely. So it's about being patient with yourself and your partner, acknowledging that you might have to relearn how to respond rather than just react.
Exactly. There's this simple practice where before reacting, you take just a quick breath. It's so small, yet it can change how you engage in a difficult conversation.
Right. That's super important. And listening comes into play big time here. Instead of like defending your own position right away, you're there to really understand what your partner is expressing. It's almost like tuning in fully, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like using the listen to understand approach instead of listen to debate. One common tip is to hold off on giving advice immediately. Sometimes you just need to let your partner feel heard.
And let's be real. Who doesn't want to feel truly heard, especially during those high stress moments? It builds trust and eventually makes disagreements, well, less damaging.
Exactly. There's this Gottman-inspired technique called the emotion coaching conversation. It's basically taking turns sharing your recent emotional experiences, and then the listener reflects back what they heard.
Yeah, that sounds really practical. So instead of rushing to fix the problem, you're saying, I see you felt this way. That simple reflection sometimes does more than any solution ever could.
Precisely. And it's not just about the words, it's about the tone, the body language, even a supportive touch. It really demonstrates that you're emotionally in sync.
Truly. I read about a couple, Alex and Jordan, whose relationship really turned around with this approach. Initially, they were caught in cycles of arguments. Alex felt ignored while Jordan thought Alex was too emotional. Sound familiar?
Yes, exactly. They actually pursued emotional intelligence work with a therapist. It wasn't an overnight miracle, but over time they started adopting these strategies, like taking timeouts and validating feelings rather than immediately jumping into problem solving.
Right. It's, yeah, a gradual process. And it's powerful because even a small exchange, like simply acknowledging, that sounds like a really heavy day, can crack open the walls that keep you both disconnected.
Absolutely. Those little moments over time build something really sturdy, almost like a fortified foundation for your relationship. You begin to see disagreements more as opportunities rather than insurmountable
Exactly.
conflicts.
Now, one thing I sometimes wonder about is the notion of taking breaks when emotions run high. Is it always beneficial? I mean, could it ever result in ignoring issues for too long?
That's a fair challenge. The idea isn't to avoid the conversation entirely, but to take a short pause, a timeout that allows both partners to regroup. 10 minutes might be enough sometimes, but it could be longer for others. It's about being flexible and in tune with what you both
I get
need.
that. Often it's about the quality of the pause rather than just the act of pausing. Right, it's a balance. You don't want to use the break as a way to run away from the problem, but rather as a tool to return more centered and ready to listen.
Well said. And then there's the broader impact of all this work. When the emotional intelligence in a relationship is strong, you notice fewer misunderstandings, reduced resentments, and a more authentic connection overall.
Yes, indeed. But what about when EQ is low, though? How does it manifest in everyday interactions?
Good question. Low emotional intelligence can lead to defensiveness, miscommunications, and sometimes even emotional withdrawal. It becomes a vicious cycle where negative feelings pile up without resolution, leaving both partners feeling isolated.
That's a clear picture, yeah. And it's interesting how even small habits, like using I statements, better communicate personal feelings without sounding like blame, which can be really transformative.
Definitely. It's the little things. For instance, actively practicing empathy, taking a moment to see things from your partner's perspective, can sometimes be overlooked, but it's such a simple strategy.
To your point. Some might argue that in the heat of the moment, deep empathy is hard to muster. Do you think it works as well in real-time conflicts?
It's definitely a challenge in the moment, but even a brief, sincere effort to step into your partner's shoes can diffuse a situation. It might feel awkward at first, but over time, that very practice can shift the entire dynamic of your
Right.
disagreements.
It's like training a muscle. It gets stronger with practice. And it's not just about managing conflicts, right? Emotional intelligence also shows up when couples are simply coexisting in everyday life, celebrating successes, sharing frustrations, and building dreams together.
Exactly. It's the groundwork for building a lasting emotional connection. The investment in developing these skills pays off in so many facets of a relationship. From smoother day-to-day interactions to navigating big life challenges, it's a continuous process of growth.
Continual growth is key. Plus, there are these wonderful tools available, like Gottman's approach to relationship wellness, which bundles together assessments, digital programs, and even virtual events to help couples elevate their emotional intelligence further.
Yeah, and those products aren't just commercial add-ons. They're built on solid research. They provide structure for couples who might otherwise feel lost trying to piece together effective communication on their own.
Right, research-based methods really lend them credibility. It's pretty impressive how incorporating a bit of emotional intelligence, something as seemingly subtle as pausing to check in with oneself, can transform the entire relationship landscape.
Absolutely, and that's really the takeaway. Whether you're navigating conflict or just trying to connect more deeply, practicing emotional intelligence is one of the most valuable skills you can develop.
No doubt about that. In the end, it's all about showing up for each other with curiosity, care, and empathy. And that's what makes a relationship resilient.
Right, exactly. And remember, it's okay if you're not perfect right away. It's all about the journey of improvement together. Thanks for this engaging conversation. It's been enlightening, delving deep into emotional intelligence
totally.
and relationships.
Thanks for joining in, everyone. Keep those conversations open and stay attuned to the love in your lives.